disturbed my normal trend, and so I was confused. Okay. There we go. It's Friday, I think. Yes. Actually, that was Monday today. Michael's cooking, so it's a little foggy in here. Surprised at least how much you can actually see right there. You can see the fog on stream.
It's a Halloween special.
Yeah, here I want to see. Can you see how foggy it is in the kitchen? Yeah, you can. So we have or at least I made the saying here that we don't have a fire alarm. We have a flavor alarm. So Michael knows when the cooking is finished because the fire alarm goes off. So that's when you get the best tasting food, is just before it starts on fire. So, since I finished the Breathless one last time, it's going back to this to finish up some of its last things. So what I ended up needing to have done was same ponies, yeah. Was I'm gonna need to finish the audience, but I'm not worried about that right now. It's about getting these guys done. So I think in this shot, other than the audience, it's basically done. I'm gonna consider this. This should be yellow, because that is essentially. I mean, this is gonna be a different story, but for this, they are done. This is. Oh yeah. So this is the part I need to figure out. This little end part, and then here's a carry on for the so okay, that's what I need to work on. I did get confirmation as to what to do. Mainly it was I was having Shiny kind of applaud, but I'm gonna have to play with him a little bit because he's looking like kind of meh. But Cadence and Twilight were the ones I was unsure of, and I was told they should be going along with it, but not really too enthused about it, which is essentially what I was thinking that they would be, where they don't want to go and do murder, but I guess if we have to do murder, this is not centered.
For a counteroffensive against.
Yeah, the camera is not centered. Oh, actually, I don't want to do it that way. This part. If you ever want to figure out where the center of the camera is, that line right there. So that should be center. I don't think it's turned correctly, but I'm probably just going to go with it.
Plans for a counteroffensive against the Hive, source of the Changeling invasion that
Changeling rules Equestria now and always.
Okay, so I can close that. I just wanted to double check it before I started poking at things. Okay.
Her Highness.
Oh, classic. So how are you doing? Frog. How are you doing on this wonderful Friday?
Her Highness Princess Celestia announces Her Highness Princess Celestia announces.
Okay.
What's
It's Pone.
his phone?
It's not booze.
I know. I need water. That was a lot of food. I need to just digest for a little while.
What?
There was like a pound of meat and cheese in each of those burgers. With both, not each of those burgers, but together. Like a half-pound burger apiece.
It's snowing in New York. See? You could be in New York.
I can't see anything. I don't have my glasses on. I'm gonna go upstairs.
You gotta get up again.
I do.
I'm waiting for you to slide the rocker over here just so you can, like...
That would be amazing if I did.
And let me know if the mic is too loud or something. I think it might be. But I figured I was kind of using my mic incorrectly, and so I adjusted things. And so it actually should be a lot clearer and easier to hear and less background noise. So if it is... But that also means it's louder. So let me know if it's too loud and I can turn it down. Okay, that's what I thought. Well, because I was using it like a what would they call it? Compression or whatever. Though it's the one that I was using it from the front when technically it's one to use from the side, and I was using it incorrectly. And that was because I was watching a video about different mics, and then I noticed mine said back on it, and I didn't really think about it. So, and I tested it out on the side, and I was like, holy crap, I've been using this wrong for 3 years. So, I just didn't care enough. But yeah, now I'm actually using it correctly. So, I'm glad I figured that out. Anyway, so... I need to have them, so they're going to go along with it. That means that they will be clippity-cloppeting.
Yay. That screen says words. That screen has words on it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's called English. Did you learn that in school, or... you just look over there and you hope somebody says enough context for you to be like, yeah!
They taught Latin and only Latin. That's a really weird school.
Kentucky's a weird place. The only words you ever learned were those on the KFC menu. Like, chicken, mashed potatoes.
You got to know how to order the cuisine of our people.
Yes. No, so I was informed by Prince that or at least confirmed what I was thinking, where Twilight and Cadence... at least in terms of the reactions, are supposed to basically just be going along with it, but aren't happy about it.
I can't imagine anyone's happy about war. If somebody's happy about war, they're screwed in the head. But
Or they profit on it.
I guess, but that's still some form of mental disease.
I am feeling that this table is higher, and that is because it is. Oh no, it isn't. I was just clipping. Oh no, this still is. Yeah, that table is up higher. We need to fix that, because that's weird. I mean, maybe it's just me. Well, these are the tall guys. Yes. So... it's either I bring this table... yeah, I'm just going to do that. And all these ones.
Now, I would imagine it would be similar to like the Fallout 4 synths, where people were accusing each other of being synths.
Oh, actually, this went up, and apparently never moved it back down. Wait, that means I moved it up because of something. Whatever.
Shake off the horses. Like, you could totally do that reenactment scene with the two brothers in,
Indeed, sure that
Diamond City.
I was thinking from Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty.
Two brothers.
Oh, two brothers. I'm just thinking of that scene where one brother was accusing the other one of being a sin. he blows his head off.
But why would I want to recreate it?
I'm just saying you could. I'm not saying you
Yeah, I could, but then I'd have to go and find all the audio. I'd have to rerun it for Pony.
I'm not saying do it right now or ever. I'm just saying.
I love how you started it with, you should still do it.
No, I'm not saying you should do it. I'm
But
just
then
saying it would work.
But then I should also go and recreate
Half-Life or Fallout.
Half-Life. Now you're adding a whole other game on top of this.
Half-Life wouldn't be as good.
Jeez.
You know I love it.
I thought somebody actually went and made a Gordon Freeman
Pony. I can see that.
Pony. Yeah. Okay, I don't need the notepads. I do need the cups, though. It looks like he's just shaking.
He's like, I don't even know why I'm here.
Because I can have them doing the stomp thing, but it feels difficult for me to have somebody applauding in a sense that makes them look like they're dancing happy.
I feel like neither of the princesses would be applauding. And Twilight wouldn't be.
Well, the thing is I have to, because I have to have them applauding or moving in some way, because I can't have every person behind them not applauding.
Okay, well, okay. You have Twilight, but the princesses definitely should be applauding.
Twilight's gonna applaud because she's like, I know that it's murder, but it's my princess. I have to applaud because I like her.
I would feel like her applause would be a little slow.
She's just sitting with a changeling spear through her horn, looks at Twilight with bloodlust in her eyes, and Twilight's like, it's a good look.
Yay.
Yeah, it's nice.
I was really hoping they would explore her relationship with Celestia more than they did, actually. Like her devotion. Because like there was a scene in an episode where Twilight thought Luna had reverted back into being Nightmare Moon, and she didn't hesitate to threaten her to go back to the movie.
Yeah, like, just looking at us with the other eye.
That is terrifying. Why you do this, little horse?
Michael.
It's like the body music.
La, 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 la.
No, it's weird. Oh, that's kind of cute. Even though it's only half her head. It's like plump. Plump.
You're like, oh, look at that, it's adorable.
It'd be adorable if her head wasn't in half.
Just like,
I like how her eyes are completely textured, but you can't really see them.
well, what if you didn't?
Oh.
Then you like catch it at this angle and be like, why are her eyes white? It's like, you'd be angry no matter what.
I'm always angry.
So yeah, I think just because I want to have him applaud because he profits from this. I want to have.
He would applaud because he would realize it's his duty as a soldier.
Yeah, but Spitfire I see as almost a national security type, guard, head of. Yeah. I see her being more on alert all the time.
Of the unicorn divisions of the. What do they call it? It was like the.
I'm circling Spitfire.
Yes, I know. She's the
head of the unicorn.
The head of the Pegasus.
You said unicorn.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh no, it's called the Unicorn Pegasus Earth Pony or something. It had like an abbreviation in that one.
No, she's the head of the Wonder
You
Bolts.
did an animation on it.
I just lip synced it, and that was like 3 years ago. Don't ask me to eat those questions. No, but no, I'm gonna keep her stoic and looking around. Mm-hmm. So it's these two, but I have to have them applaud, otherwise I have less than half.
I don't see Shining Armor or Spitfire having any hesitation in their applaud. I see
Spitfire's not. Spitfire's going to be staying stoic and looking around. She's not paying attention to the speech. She's focused on what her job is. That's what I was going with. Because normally if you had a military frontline type person, they're probably going to be standing there stoically. They're not going to start applauding. That's
they can't. You don't want to show them bias, essentially.
No, you would be showing them breaking protocol.
I mean,
almost.
Shining's military too, so.
Yeah, but he doesn't care because he's just bro man. He's got grilled cheese sandwiches back there. He's just munching.
Everybody just started applauding. He's just like, "What are we all applauding about?"
It's just like, yeah.
Whatever.
And then they're like, here's your gun. Wait, what? I thought we were here for Celestia's birthday.
Yes.
So I think the easiest way to do this is I'm just gonna they're not visible here. Nope. So is having them. I don't think I want to put too much emotion to them. Like, I think I'm just gonna have them doing a plotting with not of like but I'm not gonna use like a face that is going to imply that they're having fun.
No, definitely not.
Like,
I don't think any of them see this as fun.
like there's murder.
Yay! Mass genocide / death. That's what they're getting into.
I just want to see we are here to talk about the mass genocide / death / murder / kill / ending of the life.
People will die, but you gotta spin it so it doesn't sound so bad.
So Twilight should be easy. I'm just going to
Just Celestia walk up. A lot of you are gonna die. And maybe we'll get through this. Good luck.
A lot of you shall die today, and that is a risk I am willing to take.
I'm going to lock myself in this bunker now. Good luck. Let me know if and when this blows over.
Okay, so the one difficult thing with she's not gonna drop the sun. That's like crashing your favorite car into your enemy. She needs it. That's her favorite. That's her whole thing. I shall destroy the world to destroy you. Then she's the bad guy. Is she?
Zebras in the Fall to Question books thought Luna was just pure freaking evil. Yeah, they thought she would do it. Because she had done bad stuff before, and they thought she'd do bad stuff again.
Okay, so I do not want face. I do not want...
With the sun.
What do I need? I don't want to grab the wings because it's probably going to break them because they're different wings.
Rip them off. Make the people who are still angry about her getting wings happy. Oh man, I'm trying to think about that.
I see this not going well.
She's part of the desk.
That went better than I thought. But...
She's part of the desk.
No, it's because
that went well.
These ones they were built to have it where they were sitting on the chair. When I pasted them, it would move them off the chair. So that's just moving them like they would be on the chair. No, I just wanted to make sure it wasn't going to break a bone. And I don't see it. Like, her hair is still fine. Her emotions on her face is still fine. Spitfire's, she's fine.
I don't know that anybody's still angry about it. Some people stopped watching the show when it happened, and they just never picked it back up. But that's just them.
To me, it's hard to be angry about it anymore because she's had wings longer than she's not. So, so I think that it's more of there's people that just like to be angry about it, but now they're just feeling like it was something that was going on in the fandom back when they were there, and they're just having fun showing off their knowledge of Pony or something.
What bothered me wasn't that she got wings, but after she got the wings for like a season and a half, she was like Little Miss Know-It-All perfect. And when she finally went back to being like psychotic, nerve-wrecked Twilight, I started enjoying her character again.
And always.
She stopped being her for a little while. For like season.
Her Highness Princess Celestia.
And then I think the episode that kind of broke that was Testing 1, 2, 3, which is a good episode.
It's one of my favorites. For sure. I mean, that's why I did the whole thing. Well, I mean, it's not just because of the chair part, but the lesson from there was my favorite lesson of the whole series.
It's kind of the episode where Twilight went back to being Twilight
And
too.
always.
Okay, these actually do have her off the ground a little bit more than I thought it would. Let's see if I can just jam her into the ground and hide that fact. So, yeah, just crack a couple bones here. There we go.
Always.
She didn't need those buttons anyways.
Her Highness Princess Celestia announces plans for a counteroffensive.
Just like, just the whole speech. I was wondering doing that in the background. Just like, the whole speech. She's just like, she just gotta pee the whole time. I gotta pee. He's so happy.
Ways.
Her Highness Princess Celestia announces plans.
And always.
Her Highness
She's the
Princess
one who's
Celestia
actually
announces
happy
plans for a
for.
counteroffensive against
Yeah, he
the
won.
Hive.
There. Now she's even better.
Her Highness Princess Celestia announces plans for a counteroffensive against the Hive.
Oh, wait, no, she's back to depressed.
Don't be excited again. No, like her eyes, like kind of open. Like she's just like just a little oblivious that. Oh,
Alright, it's undoing it. Oh yes, we gotta go back to there.
oh, now she's excited again.
Which step back? Oh, when she steps back from here. This she's not stepping back.
She's lying.
So yes, if that is smooth, yeah. No, it's I've said it before on the stream. If if you plan your shots out correctly, you can save yourself a lot of work. Because I planned this out, knew that I wasn't going to see her step back, so why should I put the effort into the step back? The only thing I needed to be careful of when doing it was there is lighting in here, so you can see her shadow. So I did have to double check, is the shadow going to change if you could see the hoof lift or not? And there was no change. I just grabbed the leg and shifted it around. Since I couldn't visibly see a shadow, it made zero difference. So I said, screw it. So if it's only means you get to focus on what's on camera and nothing more. So planning is super important for just minimizing the amount of work you have to do. So, and here's all I knew is I needed to make it look like she was. It's the same thing like a couple other examples of the times I did that. This one. So when Twilight goes to do her step around, she just kind of hovers over there. I actually had I had her whole body slide, and then during the transition, I just locked her chest with the move and then grabbed her pelvis and shifted it around so it rotated, making it feel like it was lagging behind. And then I think one of the legs I just like yanked over to the right just so you could see the shoulder move. But other than that, there's like no actual leg movement. I had to do a lot of it for Tempest here, but there was a walk cycle, so that was fine. But yeah, that's one where, because I knew how the camera worked there, who cares? The other one is here. So actually, this is one where it is huge on doing that, where anything that's not in shot. But see if there's any other ones I can remember. So like before she comes around this corner, she's sliding, and then as soon as you see her visibly come in, I just optimized it a little bit more. Or in this shot, in this shot when she goes to hit the button, her hoof is completely stretched out from her to get her out of the way of the camera, and all I do is have the hoof just kind of hit over and hit the button. I don't care about any of the stuff in the back. But the main one I was coming here for was this one. When she's walking down the stairs. If you actually go and watch in your actual file for this, she is sliding, and as soon as her legs hit the camera range, she goes and does all the walks, but as soon as any of her individual legs leave the frame, they stop moving. So everything for this walk outside of the shot that's visible is nothing. And I think actually, because I was talking about that, making sure if you pay attention once on the shot, in this when it's rendered, her head's upside down. Like, I completely yanked it upside down and like stretched it upwards because it just didn't matter. So, Fusaro Da. Oh, that's a super old video. And it's Fusaro Yay, I think. So it's always important about just don't plan your shots. I mean, like I have I do plan my shots with the software. So like for instance, I'll have like this where I am trying to figure out how I want to do some of these shots, but I don't want to put the effort into animating it. So I'm just getting the idea for it. And some of these shots you can see are different, like when she's coming into here, and she comes in from above. In the final, I did a lower camera, and the reason I did that was because I was going to use I wanted to use that similar angle for something else, so I wanted to keep reusing it. So but because I put all this effort into planning it ahead of time and refining it and figuring out the camera positioning, then when it came to these shots, I knew exactly what I needed to animate and nothing more than that. Animation takes a lot of time. It's a waste if you have to like go and do all this other stuff too. So like even here, she's not even moving. But it gave me the ideas of what I needed. Or like even here, all I knew I needed to do the lip syncing, and that was it. I didn't even care how her eyes looked. I didn't care how she was positioned. Nothing. So definitely take the time into figuring out. Like even here, like watch her stand up. It's just cheap. It's actually part of the keyframe I used later, but it got me what I needed, and then I could save myself some time. Ooh, she's phasing. She got magic. Actually, it's like still a single pupil. It's really weird. So yeah, definitely plan your shots. There's a reason that storyboarding exists. Minimize work. No, the Fusaro Yay is on my YouTube. Yeah, this one. Yeah, this is like, I made this in 2013, so I made this 7 years ago. Jeez. 6 years, 11 months. And it's just, this is a Skyrim dragon, I think. Yeah. But I had at this point, I think it would only been, I started in 2013. I think, so this was me 3 or 4 months into using the software. But again, it's just as the first review. You can actually see the final on YouTube. The one thing that I like with this though is that little dragon ate Derpy. I actually ended up reusing that like animation of Derpy flying out on like 4 or 5 other things. That same positioning and the way she falls down. It came in handy. Reuse your own crap. So you put the effort into it, might as well just use it again.
Plans for a counter.
Okay, so I think I kind of do like the idea of. Okay, she goes back here. Okay, good. So she needs. be turned.
Offensive against the...
Not changeling. Rules Equestria now and always.
Her Highness Princess Celestia announces plan...
I'm okay with it, but I need to reduce it. I want to make it more like she's kind of just doing it subtly. I also have like one, like I used to just, have an idea for something and to learn, and I would just make something from it just so that I could use it as a way to put something out and still use it as a learning opportunity. So like I had Spitfire doing the Kamehameha. Just because I was using it as an excuse to learn how to use some particle effects and do some lighting stuff. And it was just something I could make in a couple hours. So it's just for fun. But, and I did learn about particles from that. So, and that's what I wish I could do more of. Problem is that there's not many of those like single learning opportunity things to do anymore. I've kind of ran myself low on them. So she kind of... Let's see if I can just... Can I just merge her with this position? So we're going to remove it by half. Hello, headphone. How are you doing?
Changeling. Rules a quest.
Her Highness Princess Celestia announces plans for a counteroffensive against...
Actually, that kind of works. And the thing is, it's going to be dark, so you're going to not be able to see her very well. I'm probably going to put some kind of a light from behind, because I can see them having backlighting, but not front lighting. Though I do think that she probably needs to be turned a bit more towards it. Let's just do her pelvis. There.
Plans for a counteroffensive. Celestia. Her Highness Princess Celestia announces plans for a counteroffensive against the Hive, source of the changeling invasion that...
Okay. That works. Well, thank you, headphone. That's very kind of you. And thinking about celebration, I put some alcohol in the freezer, and I probably should have pulled it out like 10 minutes ago because I like it cold, not ice. So I'll be back in 1 second so I can grab the nice liquid. Okay. Michael is done cooking, but I swear it is smokier now than when he was cooking. No, stay away. No, I get a this giant can from Sociables. This is a Piment, which is it's a mead, so it's a honey alcohol, but it's mixed with some grape flavor, actual grapes that were made in. It's a smaller batch thing. Very, very good, right off the tap. But I like to get it cold so I can take my Ponyville Cider Best mug and it's frosted. So it's good stuff, though. But this can is huge. Like, look at this. I mean, this is not a normal size can. This is a... How big are these? They're 1/5 of a gallon, I believe. Because 3 of them equal 0.6. Yeah, for how big they're 750 milliliter. The Vibrity is missing her textures? Like which textures? Like the whole body texture, or? Because To me, that doesn't sound like a missing one. It's probably a positioning or file name issue. One thing you can do is, see if this works, is ensure that it's pointing to the correct directory. The one nice thing you can do is if you go to Show Game Model in Explorer, you find yourself your game model. So it's going to say this one. I'm now going to right click it and say Edit with Notepad. It's going to give you a whole bunch of gibberish. But the nice thing is, if you go to the, I believe it's the very bottom. Okay. You go to the very, very end of it. It actually tells you where the file, the textures are, even if you're, though it's a not a text file. So if you go to the end here, it's telling me that it is under Models VNMLP Twilight Sparkle. So for what I've, and some of the models are under Common, but for the most part, this is where they are. So double check that if you go to, and that always, when it says, what it says here is considering starting from the materials folder. So if I go to materials, this is under user mod, materials, models, VNMLP, and then Twilight Sparkle. This would be where the textures would be. Yes, you could just do add overrides and check where the name of the texture is there, but I have had it where the textures are, or the model somewhere is broken, and the models, it actually 0 materials, because they're just literally disconnected somewhere. So this helps you figure out some kind of information. Oh, that's good. So yeah, this is a nice little useful tidbit if you want to find some of the materials. This should be a common folder for all models, so it's for like eyelashes and yeah, it's smoky.
Just a heads up, your bedroom is full of burger smoke. You traveled up the stairwell like your room is all smoky now.
I had said before that it's actually smokier since you've stopped. I feel unsafe now because it's like all smoky in here, and the fire alarm, the flavor alarm has not went off yet.
We should probably test it this weekend.
Because otherwise, how are you going to know when to stop cooking?
I know.
It's like throwing spaghetti at the wall, right?
Exactly. I'm glad you understand.
I
had to go upstairs and just kind of roll around in my bed like a snake who ate a food too big to kind of crush it up.
You're just like...
It was like... that for a while.
A headphone, you can also make sure that when you look at the files in here, make sure that when you open it, that this base texture is also matching up. So this should match the part after materials here. If it doesn't, it's pointing to a wrong file. Check that. Otherwise, if you just don't even see the file in here at all, I would download the models again and grab it from there, or check to make sure if there's like something else you downloaded or something. I don't know. Just double check where it is.
That doesn't work. Just to use a marker on your screen and color.
Yeah, until you move. What do you, and then you
gotta erase
you go like that.
Again.
But there's a difference in missing textures, whether or not if it's purple and black, it's that it's loading the VMT, the material texture file. It's just, it can't connect it to a VTF, or there's some kind of an error in that from the VMT on. If you go to load the model and the model is gone completely, like you can't even see the model, usually then that means that there's like, it's not able to even find the textures at all. Like there's no files, it's completely missing, or there's just an error in the model itself.
What are you drinking? Oh.
I had it in the freezer for a little bit. If it's purple and black, then that means it's finding the VMT. So that's where it's finding this file, or it should be finding this file, but now there's some kind of an error in this file. Normally it's that the texture it's trying to look for is not there or there's something wrong with it. So double check that your VMT is pointing to the correct file.
What if it's a model of a bruised plum? Then it might be supposed to be that way.
To me, the enhanced ponies are... If you're having an issue and nobody else has complained, or you haven't had everybody else complaining about the issue, then there's probably something in the way that it was installed that is causing a problem. So the best way to do it is just to reinstall them. Okay, yeah, I mean, whatever model it is, you want to make sure that you just drop whatever you open. So like, let's just choose a random one here. Let's do this one. You want to make sure that when you find the folders that say materials and models, and it might say other stuff on there too, but the main folder is materials and models, drop both those folders directly into the user mod. Do not play with their structure at all. We've had people before that'll be put models in the materials because it'll say like, oh, well, there's a models folder in there. No, you don't want to mess with that, and you don't take the files out of here and put them in. Don't grab the models folder out of here and merge it with your normal models folder. A good model maker should make it so it's a drag and drop. Yes, and that SFM just itself is confusing. But the SFM has a lot of control and flexibility because it's an open source game in a way. You can manipulate everything, but in doing so, you have a super amount of control. But you have to know how to kind of putz with it. Then, if you make something easier, it's going to also limit the amount of things you can do. I like that SFM's kind of open with that.
It's easier if you put socks on all the things.
No, that's hard.
Oh, it's easier. You should do it. Telling the people in chat.
See, she's got socks.
Yeah. It's made it super easy.
Metal socks, and she's got booties.
He got this animation done because of those socks and booties in like 10 minutes.
Don't help on Fonzie.
It's Princess Celestia.
She's like, woo-hoo. She flying.
She pooping.
No, why do you have to make it move? Why is pooping move?
What kind of fetishes do you go?
No. We do not have these rumors.
You said it. What was it, the busty one?
What? The one in that one stream I did.
Yeah, but you say again?
Stream again.
So you can say it again. And I can take it out of context.
I think it was Blur to Blah. He was like maybe Sunset was only 13, and I said would be a very busty 13-year-old.
And then he made a.
And then he just clipped. That's a very busty 13-year-old. He clipped that. I was just like, no.
Yeah, well, posing is super important, and it takes time. The best way I have found to learn posing is to take some kind of a show reference, like a 2D picture, and try your absolute best to try to replicate it. Don't animate nothing, just find a pose. Whether it's sitting is a fun one because of how many bones you have to break. But like,
just show them all the poses I did with all those little
making Rainbow Dash do all her posing for this. A lot of that was going through like frame by frame of the actual show and figuring out like what was her pose for it, and then figuring out these models are not built to be in this pose. Like there's a lot of bone breaking and they have the butt jiggles, and I had to use them to pull the butt down to actually extend it to the chair. Otherwise, it was just like 2 little pixels hitting the end of it, and then it was nothing else. So, definitely try to replicate from the show. That's why one of the what was the name of it? Yeah, this one. This was one of the first things I made. Like, when was this rendered? 2013. I started SFM, I think, late February. So I made this within like 3 weeks of me starting animating.
Wouldn't it be amazing if you could make videos in only 3 weeks now?
No, I made this whole video. This whole video I made in 1 week. But I put like...
What happened?
I would come home from work and I would work on it until bed. And I did it every night, and then all the way through the weekend.
Like, but how many hours do you think you put into it?
45 to 50.
It's nothing compared to what you've been
in a week.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's a lot in a very short amount of time, but you'll put way more time in videos now.
But now I'm also trying to figure out a lot of other stuff on the side. This was copying the show, so I had the show next to it, and so I basically just went through here, and this I didn't do pose to pose. I didn't even think I keyframed. I literally just animated it from the beginning. Horrible way to do it, but it worked. But the reason I kind of did this shot was it was kind of fun, like fun shot. Well, but in this whole thing, Pinkie Pie doesn't move. And these two are flying. Being that they're flying, they're not interacting with the ground, so I didn't have to worry about legs locking and sliding. I just had to make them fly and float. That made that easier. And since Pinkie Pie is not moving, it made it a lot easier for her too. So that's why I did this scene. But it just helped teach me the software, because all I had to do is go, like, what did they do here? And then what did they do here? And tried to replicate it. And when you start learning by just grabbing bones and shifting them and moving them to match up how to best utilize the models to get those poses. And then every time you do it, it just builds a little bit more in your head and a little bit more in your head to make it more natural the next time, to where you won't need a reference, because you know, like, oh, I've done that pose before, or I've done those 2 different poses, and this is somewhere in the middle.
Rainbow Dash is letting us know she ate a sandwich this big.
Just like, no, I didn't. Like, what was it made of? Beef.
I was like, ah! No. Those were my friends.
Oh, there she goes. She does her thing again. But I mean, like, and also I didn't care about some of the details. Look at Fluttershy's chest.
Yeah, it's all poofed. She got an extra proof chest.
So I recommend, like, start by copying something. I remember I was at a panel regarding YouTube content probably like 5 years ago, and I ended up walking out because every piece of advice they were giving was horrible, and they spent half the time advertising their own content and talking about how we should follow their advice because they have 200 subscribers. And it was just, all the advice was bad. And the one main one is they're like, do not copy anybody's work ever. That is a violation of copyright and trust and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like,
protect their own crap.
Well, it's people that feel they need to protect it or something. And I've said before, no, copying is great. Don't take credit. And maybe if you do, maybe give it your own little vibe or something. But when you're learning, it's an amazing way to do it. And for instance, Knife H had commented on me while I was working on, or one of my first animations was a replication of one of his pictures in animated form, and he commented on it and was saying, like, this is really, really cool. And that was super motivating. So for somebody seeing me copy their work in a way, they found that endearing and cool. So don't think that somebody's going to be angry about it. Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. If you're really worried about it, ask permission. But it's just such a great way to learn.
After watching him animate for years, I can say the one thing that seems to be the constant is lots and lots of booze.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure to drink booze, everyone.
Like, even, like, I wanted to make an anime intro, but I didn't know how to... I didn't know how to make it from scratch. So I started out first by replicating almost shot for shot one already there. I mean, I kind of gave it my own little vibe, but in essence, I copy pasted the original, and then that kind of gave me an idea of how to best go about some of the things, because 3D is different than 2D. And because of that, I was able to better know how to utilize that for making my own. So this is still following some of the shots, but it's a whole different story. It's not me trying to put the other characters into a different story. This is me building a whole different story following that theme. So I felt more confident in doing this because of that. So yeah, if you're not sure, copy.
What's the name of that book again? From that scene you just showed?
Text.
Austria.
Austria.
I know that's why you love that book.
Probably never going to finish either.
Nah, that's because the writer never finished it.
But
you love the fanfic where all the other of the main six were dead but Rainbow. She's the only one you need, right?
you have to read the book to know, though.
Yeah, well, just like the very first part.
Well, no, you need to read the full book to know everything that happens.
Well, yeah, that's the only part I know.
Yeah, there's a lot that happens. That, oh yeah, I mean, hell, I spent months working on this big long video just for book 1, and I think there's 9 completed, and even book 1 is only, I think it's only 300,000 something words, and book 9, I believe, was almost 1 million itself. It's a super long series, but they keep taking characters, adding really interesting characters, adding new interesting characters, taking out some other characters, recycling, and reinvigorating the story to where it was just fascinating. It was really, really interesting. And I really liked the narrative as it was going.
Rainbow the only consistent character throughout the book, or were there others?
Depends on how long you consider consistent.
From, like, they're through all the books. They're in all the books.
Yes. Spoilers.
Is it yes or no?
I would say she's the only one, but it could be argued that she's not the only one.
Okay.
But no, it's a lot of the fanfics originally did inspire me. I used to read a lot of them. Now I've been kind of reading other books or whatever. But no, I read a lot of fanfics, and a lot of them were really inspiring. I almost made like Bluebird was a Bluebird song. I really loved that fic. It was a Twidash fic, but it was, but that was only like a third of it. The rest of it was a really interesting story, and it's what solidified Rainbow Dash to me as a better character. But it's mainly because of the way that she was portrayed in that book, which was less about being selfish and arrogant, and more about being the role model that she felt that she should be when she realized how she was, and that she wasn't being an actual good role model. So yeah, I started that based on a fic. Sunny Smiles is actually based on one of the MLP playing cards, because it was a joke from one of the meetups. And I think Good Girl is based on a song from the fandom that I'll never finish that one. That barely got anywhere anyway. So it's just fanfics have super inspired me, and all the Fallout stuff, definitely.
Lots of Fallout stuff. You started quite a few Fallout videos you never finished.
If you're looking for maps, the workshop's probably your best bet. Just right within Steam. That's probably going to be basically your best bet. Wait. Is it not on the third page even now?
Somebody already managed to port some of the models from 7.
Where did I pass it?
I managed to recreate them, one of the two.
Where is it? Oh, it's back in the first page. That's why. Ooh, good. No, play around in here. This one's probably going to be the best place to find maps. Other than that, I normally just don't use maps. Almost everything I use is cycle or the scene builds. I normally don't download maps because for a couple reasons. One, it restricts me. So, for instance, if this was a map and I wanted to have a camera shot from behind, I can't remove the wall. It's stuck there. Scene builds would allow me to just remove the wall. And sometimes scene builds can be more efficient. A map, when pre-rendered, is more efficient with the same models loaded, a lot more efficient, but anything that's not in shot is still being processed, so even if it's behind you. So a scene build you can restrict to just what's in view, which can increase performance, unless you do like stupid things like this, where you don't have a behind, and then this is an immensely resource intensive scene build. So don't worry about failure. Actually, there was a YouTuber I've been watching recently that's Gyrus of One, I think. It's just he just builds stuff, but he's so interesting to watch because he constantly makes mistakes. And he explains the mistake he made, and then he explains his thought process in going into how to fix that mistake. And he always still every time he hits a roadblock, he just moves around and keeps going. And all this stuff that he does, and I'm like, how do you know how to do all of this? And a lot of it is because you keep making mistakes and you keep fixing them. The greatest way to learn is to have something go wrong, have something blow up, have something fail. So
try to avoid fire, though.
Yeah, but failure is the greatest teacher. And so if you're looking to improve at animating or anything, don't think that not hitting perfection is something wrong. No, that's a learning process. When I think about the stuff that I originally was making when I started, I knew it wasn't that good at the beginning because I knew that I would get better. I knew that every mistake I was making, I was going to improve because I would see the mistake, and next time I would know that was something I could do or shouldn't do. So don't be afraid to make mistakes because they are only going to make you get better faster.
Also, any new pony content is good pony content. It's all good.
Princess Celestia
I think I saw a comic one time that kind of illustrated it perfectly. It had two artists, and one artist had really good art, and the other artist, they had just started out, so their art wasn't as good, and they're like, my art's not as good as their art, it's horrible. And then it showed like the fans, and they're just like, their only reaction was, more art. It was just like, yay.
Yeah, well, there was another one that was like that, where they said somebody draws something really, really good, and or somebody asked like, well, yeah, how do you get so good? And you're like, well, lots and lots of practice. And they're like, but I have been drawing. I drew. Look at all this I drew, and they showed like a stack that was like this tall. And they're like, look at all this I drew, and then it zooms out to the person that they were talking to that was really good, and they were on an enormous mountain, and they were like, you'll get or you're not quite there yet, or something. And it was just like,
I don't like that comic that much because there's some people going to have just that enormous mound of stuff, just same as the other person they consider much better, and yeah.
But it's not just about making art. It's about improving. Yeah. Sometimes there's people that confuse the two, where they find a complacent place to be and they just draw the same things without pushing themselves. Yeah. And if you want to improve, it's not just drawing the same things. It's about going outside your comfort zone, trying new things, breaking things, doing things wrong.
I really like this one comic, Nutsa. I don't know if you follow her account. It's like this little pony account. It has like the microphone being held up to her OC, and it's like, "How long have you been drawing?" And she's like, "All my life." And it's like, "So you're a good artist?" And then it pans back, and she's just crying.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one.
And I thought that was great. She's just like, "No." It was adorable.
But a lot of it is just mentality. Like it's if you understand that you're working to improve and that you're just there to have fun, just do it. Well, no, and it's not about people to point out your mistakes. I never really feel that like anything I do is a mistake. There were like that Jairus of one of the things that he said, and it's one of those things but it's about just fully understanding, was where he had a bunch of errors in 3D printing and it just was not working for him, and he was going through this process of he was trying to fix this and trying to fix that, and he was just spending days trying to figure out this problem, and he ended up finding the problem eventually and got it fixed. And so he had a bucket that was just full of all these 3D prints. And he's like, and he said, this isn't a bucket of mistakes. This is a bucket of lessons learned. And that is something that goes to anything, where it's not about pointing out the mistakes. It's about pointing out where you can improve. Mistakes to me are about being below a line. Well, I feel like it should be looked at as a lessons learned thing, where what you're making is always rising above that line, and you're just trying to find the ways to push things to line with it.
I really wish I could learn new lessons when my head's filled with old episodes of Family Matters. So, but no, that's just me.
Well, yeah, it's about getting better. So yeah, I mean, if things were easy, they wouldn't be fun. They wouldn't feel fulfilling, and they would feel like cheating. So
how amazing would it be though if you could just like pick up a guitar and start playing like Wonderwall? And I haven't practiced once. Like
I would hate that.
That's a Matrix.
But if say everybody could do that.
No, just you.
But then I wouldn't be human.
Oh, I mean, you'd be better than you.
But then what are you?
Better.
No, that sounds like such a great concept until you're down the line, and it does. The whole thing about if you put a lot of time and effort into a talent is so like if everybody could play guitar, then nobody would care if somebody played guitar.
I'm not the only
You'd be like, I've heard Wonderwall the 8th time today.
Everybody else is gonna be normal and lame.
Yeah, you're looking superhuman to me.
I made a good burger.
I don't think you're superhuman. You're special human.
Yay! I'm so happy.
Her Highness Princess Celestia announces plans for a counteroffensive against the...
I'll play the heck out of that Wonderwall.
Her Highness Princess Celestia.
She looks like she's got a pee.
And always.
Her Highness Princess Celestia.
She's really got a pee. She's going. She's prancing that much. She's gonna be wetting the floor. She's like, I shouldn't have drank that water. You gotta think about stuff like that, though, right?
Her Highness.
I love how you guys can just say she's got a pee, and you know the exact got a pee face. How to achieve it. Years of practice, everyone. That's how this happens. Like,
well,
the perfect I got a pee face.
I do have the title Master of Poop Faces, so this is similar. And actually, she would technically have her.
Right back like, oh no, I got a pee. I mean, it's weird to think about it, but like when Lincoln was given his famous Eddie Burger dress, there's like probably some dude who really just had to pee, just like pissing in the bushes off the side.
Highness Princess Celestia announces plans for a counter.
No, the main reason I know what to do is just because, again, you do it so long.
How often have you been doing I gotta pee faces?
Well, no, it's all the lip syncing. I know exactly. In my head, I know. I'm like, the normally gotta pee face is cross-eyed with the biting the lower lip, and so I just know from lip syncing exactly what I need to do to get it.
It's years and years of practice doing pee faces. That's what that is.
It's also, if you have 100 different things that you're slowly learning stuff on, and something else new pops up, it probably is going to have various elements of those 100 things merged in that are going. So it's not like something brand new in terms of motion is going to pop up. You're going to pull in all these other bits of stuff that you've learned, and to help you figure out what to do with this. It's only going to maybe get you 8% there, but it makes it so much easier because it's just. I'm at the point now where I can immediately think of what the pose should look like in my head, and I can run through all the exact steps of all the different motions to get to that step or that look without even pushing a button yet. And so then it's just like I'm going through the steps, and if I hit a snag of something that didn't quite work, it's just tagging that in my head of something to know later that when I'm going through that, I could hit that snag again. So, there was a video that from Veritasium that was talking about how your brain has like the two modes, and there's the detail oriented and then the automatic. Where the detail oriented is when you're learning something new, or you have a task that's very intensive and requires a lot of focus, and it works on that, and it requires a lot of your processing. But then there's the automated part, and the automated part is about where it's a task your brain has. It's like you could say where if you had a piece of wood and you're running water over it, how it would just kind of go everywhere. But over time, you start chipping into it and you start making little ravines for it. And your brain starts getting like that, where the more you do something, the more it chips away to make a certain process efficient. So it makes all the pathways. So the more you do it, the quicker you can. It'll just be like, oh, I've seen that. And it'll just go. It doesn't have to think about how to make that pathway. It already exists, and so then you can focus all the rest of your brain power on doing thinking about other things. So the more often you're working in here, at anything, the less time you'll be thinking about what buttons to hit, the less you'll be thinking about what bones I need to grab, or what bones even exist, or what the names of certain things are, what things are out there. You don't have to think about all that because you already have all that pre-wired in. Instead, all that processing could go into other things. So, being more efficient, or sometimes I'll just watch a video while I'm working on stuff just because it's just automatic. Well, yeah, always focus on having fun. Don't ever do anything if it's not going to be fun.
Except a job, because you got to.
But even then, find a job that's fun. At least in some way. If you absolutely hate your job, there's plenty of other opportunities out there. Take a look.
I need to make money. I don't fancy what are you living in.
Do you like your job? You said before you do.
I said I don't hate it. That's
you can
not the same.
So go find something else.
No.
Why not?
This one makes decent money.
This one makes the exact same amount that everybody else was offering.
What, this one? Oh, yeah, but the next guy could be awful.
The
next job could be awful. What if I run out of jobs to look
That's
at?
a pessimistic look on things. It could also be great.
This is the best job I've ever had.
You know, it's like saying, it's like instead of taking a flip on a coin, instead saying, don't even bother flipping the coin. I'll just take whatever the negative is.
No, I've been flipping the coin for years. It finally at least landed on its side. It wasn't what I wanted, but it wasn't what I absolutely despised either. So I'll take it.
So you go somewhere, and if you don't like it, you go somewhere else.
I didn't say I didn't like it. I said it's the best job I've ever had. But it's still not fun, because you know what would be nice? sleeping in, working like
Okay, that's not fun. That's
days
just
a week
that's
for
called
3 hours.
go buy some lottery tickets then, and then die in 5 years because you legitimately haven't moved from your chair. Like when it comes to dinner, you just like rolled into the hallway and then spent all your money on the automated chair that just brings you up and down.
I'm just gonna roll downstairs and just groaning like, Blogger.
Blogger.
Blogger. This
You
is
get your
not
daily
planned.
DoorDash delivery of a Big Mac or 4.
It's like just throw it through the window. I'm not coming down.
Princess Celestia announced
Oh yeah, Luna. There she goes.
No,
plans
I
for a
mean,
counter.
my idea of being happy is doing whatever the heck I want, and whatever the heck I want generally doesn't involve doing work for someone else. But that's just me.
So open your own business.
No, it doesn't involve doing work for anybody. It involves me like taking a trip to Hawaii and then sitting on a beach.
What kind of life satisfaction is that?
I'm sitting on a beach in Hawaii.
Like, do you know-
soaking up no, I'm not in the sun, mind you. I found a shade.
Do you know why I make videos?
Because they make happy people. They make me happy.
No. It's an outlet for me to be creative. For me to have something that
Do that.
for something to be,
I'll take a painting.
Minecraft doesn't count.
How does it not? There's creativity in Minecraft. I built a giant derpy.
Yeah, and I'm guessing that you built the derpy by using a program that would tell you how to. And then you just went and got all the resources. So you weren't even being creative. The program told you how to be creative, and then you just went and
I was
mechanically
creative with
grabbed.
the house she's standing on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't build that from anything. I just kind of built. And I did modding for a while. That was fun.
Yeah, why haven't you done that forever?
Got boring. Also, nobody plays Fallout 4 anymore.
So mod something else.
I'm bored.
See, to me, no matter what job you have, no matter what, you'll never enjoy it because your mentality is of no matter what, I do not want to be here.
Uh-huh.
So then
That's why I want to travel. But you can't work and travel all the time.
You can. I traveled 5-6 times last year for work.
I went to Italy.
Yeah, that's once.
For work. Yeah. I was supposed to go again, but everybody got sick.
Always.
Her Highness.
I want to go to England again next year. Oh, she's going gray. Oh no, that's her twinkles. They're like shooting through her head.
Yeah, I'm kind of confused as to.
It's Luna's mane. What are you gonna do?
Oh, it's probably a part of her other.
It's one of her stars.
So it is the star for this main, but this one is blocking part of it. Because I'm looking and it's like this line that just kind of like disappears and whatever, but it's just gonna blur in this shot and it should be fine. Yeah, like my whole thing with SFM, like I started out where I was putting in 40 to 50 hours a week. I was putting in like 2,000 hours a year at the start, but I've dropped off a lot. I still stream because it's a motivator to keep making things, but just because my focus shifted on other things. But I don't work in it unless it sounds like it's actually going to be fun. This weekend I had like an hour and a half to just kind of burn, and it actually sounded fun, so that's why I poked at the Rathalos thing for a bit. But other than that, if something doesn't sound fun at the time, you shouldn't really do it. Or find the ways that you need to motivate yourself to make it fun. Because if you're just slogging through it, then you're probably doing it for the wrong reasons. There's been, I've gotten messages on DA about where somebody says, how do I get popular on YouTube? And I'm like, that's not the right question. If you're working in animation, it should be, how do I improve my animations? If you make good stuff, then people will find it and people will share it and people will watch it. But if it's just about how do I become popular, you can't just pull a Kardashian and try to like where you use fame to gain fame. That's not the way it works. And to me, fame is overrated and stupid anyway.
And always.
Her Highness Princess Celestia announces plans for a counteroffensive against the...
Kind of slow down her, like, thing.
Her Highness Princess Celestia announces...
It's no way. There's no way for them not to do their little clapping.
Her
without
Highness
the
Princess
thing. Just
Celestia
freak me
announces plans for a
adorable.
counteroffensive against the... Highness Princess...
Okay, so it's right here. So it's 3 seconds.
Her Highness
So
Princess...
I wanted to have Twilight kind of look down, but
Celestia
I
announces
have
plans for a counter...
I already have Luna look this way, and then Spitfire looks this way. So if I have Twilight look that way, it's gonna be like a wave of them all looking to the left.
Something happened over there. It's like the guy with the hot dogs finally got around. I still want that. I just want the hot dog guy. Why won't you give me the hot dog guy? I know one thing I've enjoyed doing for a really long time. Watching you animate these things. So there.
Yeah, I've been watching myself for a very long time too.
You have? I'm pretty sure if I was the one animating, I'd space out for like hours at a time. I'd just be in the middle of some of my streams, passed out, cold in my chair. That'd just be me.
I've been streaming now for 4.5 years.
Longer than that.
No more, yeah, more than that. Because I was streaming during Remembrance. That was about when I started, so it's probably 5 or 6.
That's the first thing I remember you streaming was Remembrance. So I guess I started watching you close to the beginning. When I joined this fandom, your videos were some of the first ones I watched. Where did that cold air just come from? Wow, oh, you got the window open.
I opened the window because you're trying to burn us down.
I'm making the whole house smell like burgers. This is a good thing. Does he have a hot dog guy? You're giving me a hot dog guy. He's gonna be selling hot dogs. Just in the middle of Celestia's speech. He's gonna be like, hot dogs, get your hot dogs here. Hot dogs. It's like, shh, no, you want a hot dog, hot dog. Yes. Gonna sell the hot dog. He's really aggressive. He's gonna go up on stage and sell the leaders of the Equestria hot dogs. Like, get your hot dogs. If you ever wonder why his videos take a year at a time to come out, you're witnessing it. They're no worries. They're vegetarian hot dogs. Okay, he just happened to be on camera. He's like, hey, Mom and Dad. I'm on the TVs. I'm in pictures right here. I just remember every time I see that, I just remember the little pit licking the giant hot dog. So happy.
But indeed, with indeed,
Okay, Michael.
blood. Indeed,
Hot dog! Get your hot dog!
blood. Indeed,
Hot dog! Get your hot dog!
You know, if you left all of the stuff in that you create throughout the entirety of the video, it would make the most amazing video.
Indeed, with our very long lyrics,
Get hot dog.
our very long
Oh,
lyrics,
yeah, hot dog. Hot dog. Get him, hot dog.
indeed, we
Oh, good, tasty. Just pushes her out of the way. Get your hot dog.
our blood,
Just kicks her.
indeed, with our very
Ow.
lives, to ensure that pony civilization.
Oh no, we froze.
No, that's actually the reason that on Remembrance, every shot has something stupid in it.
You saved them all was the difference.
They're all in the what the fuck folder, I believe.
I never did see Twilight's book armor. Is that one still in there?
Yeah, they're all there.
Because I remember you making the book armor.
It's in the blooper video. Not blooper. Livestream highlights?
Yeah.
No, actually. It's in the livestream highlights, but it's from Jay. Oh, this is gonna bother me. I can't remember the name, but this is too long ago.
What's that? I don't know.
But somebody, friend had made them for me, or not for me. They had been making them anyway. But now they're kind of doing their own thing because they got good at things they do. So it's good. And I still want to make another highlight video, but I have years of content to go through now.
You kept wanting to make like just a video game streaming video of random stuff you never did.
The what?
You wanted to make a bunch of video games moments.
Oh. Well, yeah, because I still have, I think...
You were like working hard on that, and then it never came.
I wasn't working that hard on anything.
Well, you're getting it all together.
No, under my shadow plays, I have... What is that called? Indiana. Okay. No, like, I have a bunch of our Halo videos that are all pretty funny. Pre-sequel had some. The main one I have is Divinity. I have a whole bunch.
Nothing we do is funny.
I have some pretty good Division 2 ones. Vermintide, I have a whole bunch. I've wanted to put out little highlights of stuff that we've done that is funny, but I'm also concerned about it just because of how it went last time when I tried doing it. So
How did it go?
I made a Payday video, but I really didn't tell the people I was playing with that I was grabbing snippets. And so they were doing their natural, funny, goofy stuff. And then I put out the video on it, and it started becoming where people were doing things for the purpose of being funny, and then it wasn't funny anymore. And they tried to make scripted funny of, let's do this because that'd be really funny, but a lot of it was just the natural funny of when we did it. And it just the games weren't fun when we were doing it that way. And they would constantly bring up, did you record that? Did you record that? I'm like, well, it's really hard to record it when you keep asking me and having the audio record, did you record that? That's why Kyle pissed me off the one time, because he did that. Like right after something funny happened, he's like, we got to record that. I'll record it if I'm going to record it. You don't need to be adding into the audio. Now it's saying that because it's not funny when there's 18 times of somebody saying that same phrase over and over again. So it just wasn't fun. So I did the one gaming video and then I never did one after that because people were trying too hard. So yeah, that's why a lot of the stuff I've been recording is just funny stuff as we've been going. But if I put out a single video of us highlights, anytime I play something after that,
For a while, some people are just going to be like,
yeah,
trying to be funny.
They're going to be wondering if I am, so they're going to be changing the way that they play. Even if they don't say anything, there's like when we were doing Payday, I saw a huge mentality shift. And I mean, that video wasn't even that popular. I'm like,
Payday?
No, the video, when I made that.
I don't think I've ever watched it. Sorry.
No, I don't care. I only put it out because it was just a bunch of highlights of us doing fun stuff.
Am I in it?
No, this is before we had the Discord and we're playing games.
Yeah.
This is our group. This was with the other group.
Look at all those bones. Like, pretty much if your
this is a long
video
time ago.
didn't have a pony on it, I
Was it back this far?
lost my attention. When there's all those derpy videos.
This is my layoff time.
Oh, Cluster Jack. I like Cluster Jack.
I must have passed
So good.
it.
Pony, pony. It's totally what they're singing. You like the video with Detective Pikachu. Losing them to the Pokemon fandom.
Is it under extra?
You didn't delete it, did you?
No. I did end up having to delete a video by request because a friend of mine was shown doing something in there that he didn't want his mother knowing that he was doing, and so he didn't want it on YouTube. But this was back before any of this.
My mom might see it.
Is there like a search function?
There it is.
I can't.
Do you remember
It
what
couldn't
you
have been
named the
that
video?
old. It was Argo and Friends Play Payday.
Just type that in the search bar.
I guess there is that. So it's across your channel. Oh, there we go. I thought it's across my channel. There we go. Argo and Friends Play Payday. Let's see my amazing amount of views on this thing.
Hey, you probably got a ton, but because it's not as much as you normally get on a video, you're probably like, that's nothing. $8,800. That's pretty good.
I'm getting on average 0 to 1 views a day.
Nobody wants to watch you play Payday.
Yeah, I made $5 on that.
Well, there you go. You could get another copy of Payday.
But a lot of it is too, people are watching the channel that I have for the purpose of that. They're watching it for a different reason. It's the reason that I moved Rathalos to a separate account.
Watching it for Derpy and Derpy alone. You should have put out lots of Derpy.
So yeah, we do lots of funny stuff on video stuff. And I thought about streaming it sometimes, but it's then, say we're playing a story-based game and we start streaming it, then every time we go to play, I have to stream, which sometimes is so impromptu. But if it's a story-based one and people are watching it and there's a story involved,
You don't have to. Like, if they really care that much about the story, they'll go play it themselves.
but sometimes it's about watching that story. So yeah, they could, but then you have to buy the game. One of the whole great things about Twitch is you can watch a game but not actually play it.
Entirely up to you, though.
But you're looking at it from your point of view. Look at it from the viewer's point of view. If you're watching somebody play a game, a streamer that you really like, and they're watching it, and then suddenly they decide, we skipped 8 hours ahead, I'm sorry, and now they're in the middle of somewhere else, and you're like, but I've been watching you play this for 30 hours, and now it feels like I'm lost in the story. That was a waste of 30 hours.
There's a lot of YouTubers out there who abruptly cut off games because they just get tired of them.
Her Highness Princess Celestia.
I'm watching
announces
one right
plan-
now. He's got a bunch of videos, and it just says if you didn't finish the game, he just puts incomplete at the bottom. I don't have the energy, so I watch Let's Plays. I've gotten to be a bum. I let other people play video games for me.
That is the epitaph of laziness. I am too lazy to hit the button.
Yes.
So I'm just going to watch it. I have been going through and watching like the video game cutscenes of certain games because they're super, super long games, and all I really want is the main story. So I know it and understand it. I don't want to go and try to play something that's 80 hours long when I can watch all the cutscenes in 3 on the side.
I have been watching this one guy play through all the Half-Life games, all the Half-Life 2. He started on Black Mesa and goes through Half-Life 2, and I get so frustrated with him. He's so bad.
Then why do you keep watching them?
Because it's fascinating.
Watching somebody bad?
Like, it's hard to find. He's doing a blind playthrough of Half-Life 2.
Oh.
It's kind of hard to find. There's not a whole lot of people who haven't played that game. But he's so bad at it. But at the same time, I've been enjoying it because it's just watching somebody play that game for the first time. I get to live vicariously through them. Just I wish the person I was living vicariously through was significantly better at the game.
I'm kind of scared if you ever have children. Like, and now today we're going to play Half-Life. Daddy, I have to go to first grade. You're going to play Half-Life. Sit your ass down. You cannot leave until you've played through it. Please, that's the part you were supposed to be surprised at. Why weren't you surprised? Be surprised.
That's like 95% of the reason to have kids is so that you can sit down with them and watch like movies you love.
So you can
and they can watch them for the first time, and then you get to live vicariously through your kids.
So you can force them to enjoy something that you enjoy without letting them build and live their own life.
No. They don't like the movie, that's fine. But they're gonna watch it at least once.
I don't care if they don't like it. But if they don't like it, they're moving out at 18.
What do you mean you don't like Lord of the Rings? I know
It looks like she's eating the paper.
Maybe she is. Maybe Twilight's just like... She's just like tasty paper.
Celestia announces plans
to eat tree bark. She's just like, paper.
Because I thought if I could maybe have her put her head that way.
Hey, Blurred.
Would work. Hello, Blurred. It really is Friday.
We're talking about forcing children to do things against their will.
Michael.
Let's join us in this conversation.
Don't say we.
Well, we were discussing it. It's like, you gotta have a kid so you can force them to watch The Shining with you. Even though that movie was kind of meh. If my kid
It's got a lot of memes.
It did generate a lot of memes. But if my kid grows up like in one of the Saw movies...
Hashtag consent.
Announces plan.
I'll sign their consent forms. That's the benefit of being their parent. They have to consent.
Wait, I don't think that works that way.
If they want to eat.
I know, but that could be taken many other ways.
Oh no! Why don't you get that?
You just said it.
But my brain wasn't going there.
Blurred, there's another clip for you.
No, stop. We're talking about movies and video games.
Yes, but when you know
at
how
worst we make them watch like
how they do
crappy movies.
You know how they do like politicians where they just take the quote that makes something sound really bad when they say something ironically, and then they finish it up with the opposite, but that was originally given as some context to something larger. But then the commercials are like, "I hate children," but it's like they actually like talking about something else completely. That's exactly what this happened. See. You have to watch what you're saying because people are going to take it out of context.
I'm still talking about forcing children to sit down in movies they may or may not want to watch. That should never be taken out of context. You sit their little butts down in that chair and you make them watch Lord of the Rings.
Yes. You sit them down on the couch and you force consent on them.
It's like... I don't want to watch the V for Vendetta. I'm 7. It's like, you watch it, or you're not eating supper tonight.
Today we're watching season 7 of My Little Pony. We've watched it 7 times. Like, I've lost control of my life child.
No, they totally would have to watch it. Like, at least once. Like, I've seen most episodes only once.
Uh-huh.
You've probably watched it more than I have, honestly.
Pony?
Yeah.
No, most of the episodes I've only seen once. The episodes themselves, I've seen them a lot more than that, but it's normally in some other context.
Like, as soon as they're available in any format, I've watched them, don't get me wrong. But
I found it funny that you had the phrase earlier where you said, I'm taking my time with Alex because I know there won't be content for a while, right? But when MOP Season 9 was leaked...
Yeah, I watched it immediately.
All of it.
Yes.
But there wasn't going to be content for a while.
This is different. Do you see that face? It's adorable. It's like a drug.
But what
that
about
face is a drug, and I need my
what about
drugs.
The little head crabs?
They're not cute.
Have you seen my little plush one?
I have not.
I have a plush hat. Have you not seen it?
No, I've never seen it.
It's in my bedroom. It's behind the door. I was
unaware of this existence.
They used to sell them.
I have a companion cube plush. Have you seen it?
It's a cube.
No, it's a companion cube.
They don't sell these anymore, I don't think. Yes, this one. I actually have this.
That is amazing.
Whenever they have like Halloween, they want you to dress up, and I'm really lazy. I just wear this.
Pop that on your
Yeah,
head.
that's what I do. But yeah, I believe they don't sell them anymore.
Get it shop and find out.
Oh, maybe they. Oh no, that's Tonk. Yeah, this is a different one. This is where they're trying to be like realistic looking. The reason I like the other one is it just looks like a plush. Mm-hmm. So.
I'm sure there's lots of new
Yeah,
Half-Life
see,
stuff
this is
out.
all bloody looking.
It's all new stuff because of Alex. That one just says straight up Half-Life 2 on it, though. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. It's like, why is it the Half-Life 2 head crab? What was wrong with the Half-Life 1 head crab?
Ah!
What have you done? I'll sign their consent forms. That's the benefit of being your parents. They have to consent. What? I can't hear it, so I'm in the dark.
It's a clip of you saying, like, I'll sign their consent form. This is the benefit of being the parent. They have to consent.
Context! Context!
And we'll follow that immediately up with that's busty 13-year-old.
No.
Yeah, I know.
Even Twilight's like, I am disappointed.
No. Cute horse.
Thank you. Thank you, Blurred. That's what I needed today.
Oh.
Yeah, announces plans.
She got pee still. I'm never not gonna see it. I don't think she's not gonna pee.
Announces plans for a counteroffensive.
So my worry here is she has a lot of motion here that's offsetting her move. Like, so there's a lot of motion up here. And if I round this,
announces plans for a.
You know what? I will. I don't think that will work either. I know how to do this. It's one of those things of I've been in this long enough, so I know how to make this. So I need to maintain the motion of the head as it is and not affect it when I blend the rest in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a helper, and I'm going to have that helper do exactly as her head does. So now it's going to move with her head. You can kind of see it there with the blue popping out. Now, I'm going to take her head. I gotta remember. I gotta do these in this. So now it has all the motion of the head. So the head, I really, if I lock that, think. Okay, so wait, no, not lock. So now I'm going to unlock it, and I'm going to lock the head to it. It should basically offset it. Okay. So now the head is locked to it. But that still does have all the other motion mixed in. But that should also... No, because that still has the motion when she changes, right? Yeah, so that kind of works.
It's a sad horse.
Highness Princess Celestia announces plans for a counteroffensive against...
Okay, so now this head, I'm gonna say is here, and oh, no, not that. Head and neck. Oh yeah, the neck has its motion too. It makes it a little harder. This is good. I am right now working on my brain telling me what I should do, and I don't actually know what I'm doing. I am just working off a complete guess on this. Close enough. Right?
Princess Celestia announces plans for a counter.
Yeah, close enough. I because I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing, I want to make sure I'm just kind of doing it, so I'm not saying much.
Announces plans for a counter. Princess Celestia announces plans for a counter. Celestia announces.
That might not work. No, that's all rotation. I'm gonna go with it.
Announces plans. Celestia announces plans for a counter.
Wait, those weren't locked. Yeah. That's what I was doing wrong. Come on. I can't lock to your neck. Oh, because it's already locked. There we go. Good pony.
You know.
Yeah, that should be close enough. Okay, now that should... Yeah, okay, so now the motion is correct. There's a little bit of a jerk right there, but whatever. I'll ignore it for now. Now, I should be able to blend this across.
Celestia announces plans for a counter-offensive against the...
Okay, that does kind of work, other than... these are not timed 100% correct. So
Celestia announces plans for a counter-offensive. Celestia announces plans for a counter-offensive against... Celestia announces plans for a counter-offensive. Celestia announces plans for a counter-offensive. Celestia announces plans for a counter...
The neck's a little weird there.
Celestia.
So we're going to unlock those. And we'll just smooth that a little bit.
Announces plans for a counter-offensive. Princess Celestia announces plans for a counter.
So the neck, you just need to smooth the crap out of that. But others, oh, I gotta lock the head, then smooth the crap out of this. I think that might actually work.
Princess Celestia announces plans for a counter.
Okay, it does.
Announces plans for.
Now it's about finding where those little nuances in this thing are that are causing her head to skip.
Princess Celestia.
Which are probably. Oh, there we go. They're all in the neck. So we'll just go to the neck. No, they're not in the neck. They're in the head. They're in the head. Okay, let's just smooth that.
Yeah, announces plans for a counter-offensive.
Okay, there we go. All right. So I think what I did there was she had a motion in her head that I wanted to preserve. So I used a helper to save that motion that was pre-keyframe, which I should have done beforehand, but whatever, it happened afterwards, we'll figure it, whatever. And it maintained that. So I originally locked the heads to the helpers, playheaded the helpers, which then takes all the animation from the one that they're locked to, and then inverse the lock. So then I unlocked the helper from the head, and then locked the head to the helper. And then I playheaded the helper to its position. So the head now has no motion on it, and its motion is being simulated on the helper. Then you add so what I normally would do at that point is add the keyframe that I want on top of the neck, which at that point has no animation, but it's still moving the way that I want it to because it's attached to one that is. And then blend it. And then when you unlock it, it then imports that motion in, though technically I probably unlocked it in the wrong order. If you're going to unlock bones like that, you have to unlock it from its furthest out bone first. So I probably unlocked the neck, then the head. And when I unlock the neck, the head is still locked, so the neck then is free to move below a locked head. And then I unlock the head, and so that's what caused that to be weird. If I unlocked the head first, it would have been attached to the neck when I unlocked the neck, and then they would have stayed together. So that's probably what happened. You just unlocked, or you missed me like trying to figure out something. So, but that worked. Helpers, I only use helpers because helpers are helpful. You can use any model as a stand-in for things. Helpers are nice just because their only purpose is just as a access identifier for a bone, as it'll give all the colored identifiers without actually having the bone selected. But it just is nice as just a throw-in if you just need something. But I've done that before with cameras, to where you lock a helper to something, and then you playhead it, so it takes all that model's animation. Then you inverse the locks, so now, and then playhead the original item. Now the helper is the one actually doing all the motion. It's kind of a so helpers, if you just search them, actually all they are is just an access identifier. They're nothing. There's no special properties on them or anything. They're just a model that has the identified access. So SFM has the red, green, blue axes colors. It just matches those colors, which can be useful for itself. So like say you're having an armature and you're animating it, you can lock all these helpers to all the different bones, and so that it's just moving with the bone, and it just helps you identify the orientation of things, which can be useful. I've never really found a need for it that way, but I have found need for a model to work as I guess what you call it, an in-between of locking stuff. So where this model's purpose is to just be it. For instance, when a computer, if you try to, I'm trying to think of the computer analogy for it. If you try in computing, like if you're trying to move data or do mathematical computations with things, you always need the two numbers you're working with, but you always need like a third cell. So like, even when moving things, so say you wanted to move this file, or if you wanted to swap two files locations, that's the analogy. So you say you want to swap the locations of two items. To do that, you need a third location. So you need to move this item to this one's location. First, you need to empty this location by moving it here. Then you can move this one to this location and then move this one in. You can't, if you go and just put it on top of, you've overwritten it and it's gone. So to swap location of things, you need a third bit. And that's kind of what this is being. Is it's being that third location. Is it's being a separate entity from the bones that you're working with that can be manipulated separate from everything else. And that has a lot of uses. So in this case, it allowed me to separate the animation from the bone itself. I took the animation from the neck and the head, moved it to an outside entity. Then I could do so that, because when you lock something, so I'm gonna keep going backwards until I get to where I want to be. So there's, when you have something locked here, like say here, you lock it and you unlock it. I really wouldn't call it locked and unlocked. I would call it's more of to what are you connected. So whether or not you have lock or unlock, there we go. My mouse is kind of putzed out. Whether or not you have the lock or unlock button selected, it is locked. It's what is it locked to? So when you load in, like actually a helper model would be a good way to show this. So so we have our little helper here. And again, there's no special property about it. It's only only special property is that it's not special. It's just literally a model. But you can see that it's green axes follow with the greens, whatever. But when you look at it, it has two bones. Now, both these bones are already locked, but to different things. So polysurf or root transform is what you could consider to be world locked. What that means is its XYZ coordinates are identified by where it is in the world itself. So if I move anything with this, it is locked to the world. If I go and click the lock button, it literally has no effect on it because it is still just locked to the world. By clicking that button, I'm just locking it back to the world. So it is always locked, and you can consider like all of the ether and the environment around me is a giant model. Polysurface is also locked, but it is not locked. It is not locked to the world. It is locked to the root transform. That is its default setting. If I click lock, now it is locked to the world. So if I go and move the root transform, it's not going to move the model because I am no longer locked to the root transform. I am locked to the world. So I'm going to move wherever the world wants me to move, and the root transform is not affected. So no matter what, a model is always in a locked state. It's just in reference to what. So if I select this polysurface and I move it over here, it's now going to move and rotate around this point. What I am doing when I move the root transform is I am rotating its world. So when I rotate it this direction, you're seeing it rotate around this central point. But think about it from the perspective of this object. It is seeing everything else rotate around it. So it's you are rotating its space, because nothing on this model has any changing values. You look at its positions, and it is essentially its position is just however far it is from that root. So it is in a zero position. It has zero motion in its context of the world. And its context of the world is the root transform. That is where the use comes in. SFM doesn't handle small little tiny movements very well, and especially if you start multiplying movements on top of each other. For instance, say I wanted to take this model and I wanted to rotate it in a circle and have it also move upwards in the air. And I wanted to do that with the camera. Well, the camera only has one bone. So how do you do that? Like, so how do you rotate it around a central point and move it up? Because from the camera's perspective, if you're trying to do that within the world's perspective, which is the only thing it can lock to, it is trying to constantly move in multiple different ways, and it does not want to do that very well. So instead, you can break that up into different individual worlds. So for instance, if I wanted to do that camera motion, I would take my camera and I would lock it to the poly surface. Now its world is wherever the poly surface is, and I'm going to zero this. I'm going to zero these just so then I can. I think actually this is zeroed. Yeah, it is. So now wherever this moves, the camera will move. I'm going to rotate my camera around here. That's not it either. I think it's this one. There we go. So I'm going to move my camera over here. And you can see that circle then. Or that central point. So I am moving it, but I'm not moving it in the world. I'm moving it in the poly surface world. So now I'm going to go back 2 bones, and I'm going to say, okay, this is the one that I am going to say over this period of time is going to rotate. You're going to see I'm going to rotate everything. So I'm not just rotating transform. I am rotating poly surface's world, and in turn rotating camera's world. But camera at this point has no motion. So now that is spinning, I can grab the second one, and now how do I want to move it within that world? Well, I wanted to have it spin and go up. Well, okay, so during this time, I'm just going to have poly surface go up. So I am no longer trying to move something up and around. I'm moving it around, and then within its world, I'm having it go up. So it is 2 very, very simple motions that together make a complex motion. But SFM doesn't have to interpret it. All SFM has to remember is this one spins and this one goes up. And in doing so, you get a really, really nice, clean spin without having to have any other braking along the way. But I mainly used a lot of that for camera, but you can use it for anything. Anything where you have multiple motions that are trying to layer on top of each other, but by doing so, you'll destroy both. That's where you can start using this and start saying, I'm going to take those 2 motions and move them into 2 separate things so that they can move independently, but in the context of one or the other. So it's probably really complicated, but helpers are useful. So yeah. I hope you understood that. Even though I told you all that, you're probably going to miss many opportunities where that could come in handy. It's about the main time I learned that was useful was when I was doing chemistry. Because I was trying to figure out how to do this shot. Or this shot. because I was trying to I needed it to spin, and I wanted it to spin and go backwards. And not only that, all of these shots. So when they go to do any of these side shots, it's the same camera, but I needed it to be clean and concise in its motions at each individual point. But it's really hard when you have all these other complex motions going around. So I had it locked to a helper that was in the very center, and then its root was in the center, and then I moved it and the poly surface, the secondary model, both out at the further point. And then all these other nuanced little motions that you see, like where it's kind of just sliding to the side, that is the camera itself. And then as this shifts back, I zero back the camera so that it's slowly moving back to its original position, while the poly surface is the one backing up, and then the root transformer is the one spinning in the middle. So that when it hits this, it's nice and clean and sharp. And then here, when it's backing away, it's the root transform is here, spinning. The poly surface is pulling me backwards. And the camera then is ensuring that it's all staying in focus. By like positioning and whatever. So it was that motion I could not do with the camera alone. I tried. And you can definitely do it. You can select the camera. And you can say like... So I'm going to go camera in, and you can be like, well, I'm going to move my rotation point over here. And I'm going to say over time, we're going to do, well, see, even this is probably not, it doesn't want to work right. Really, I think the only way you're going to do a lot of this is without it. But if you say even, I want to have the camera pivot over here, go down a little bit, but then also I want to have it rotate and over here and twist a little bit. When you actually go to watch that motion,
Always.
it's anything you do. So like say like because right now it's just going in a single A to B location, so it's not that bad. But say like in the middle of this, you're like, oh, well, now I want to have it do, I want to kind of have it dip over here, over this time. It starts getting messy very quick, where you'll start getting the camera sliding one way and then jerking to catch up to its positioning and moving. It's very, very messy with that, because it's trying to interpret where to put these sample points. So you can see here it's really easy. It's a sample point there and a sample point here. Single points between them. SFM can figure that out. But as soon as you go to add some other kind of complex... some other complex motion in here, it now needs to try to figure out what to do in the middle there. And then you start getting some very, very messy, like, what the hell do I do? So separate your motions. Yeah, so definitely play with it to figure out the best way to do it. The main one I've really liked using it for is a lot of the spinning stuff. One of the other ones that I did this with was this one. So, well, kind of. It was technically from Australia, but the spinning clouds right here. So I have a single cloud that is, and thankfully those models all have built into two models, so that makes it so I don't need a helper. But the root transform is locked in the middle, and then its poly is the one that's moved out to this point. And I made all the ones that were furthest out first. And I added a rotation so that it did a full 360, and then no, you don't even have to do the 360 at first, but you just put it in its position and you make sure that it's at 0 point in this rotation from this around here. Then you copy paste it, and you move it. You move this root transform 180 degrees to the other side. Now you have 2. Copy both, paste them, and then move them 90 degrees. And then you copy paste all 4, paste them, rotate them 45 degrees. Copy paste, repeat until you fill in all the gaps that you want. You add some rotation and you can position those polysurface models to be at an angle so that they're looking down, and it's fine if they're polysurface because the root transform is the one actually spinning. Who cares what you do to the other one? And I had them on the outside. Then I took all of that motion that they had and I copied all of them, pasted them, and I just zeroed it all. And so the root transform from all of them are right in the middle. But when I zeroed everything, it just started to collapse into the middle because the poly wanted to be back at its original position. So because it's the transform, it's at 0 position. So when you just zero it a little bit and they all pull in, now you have a secondary cloud layer. And then you copy paste that and zero that one a little bit, and you get a little bit, and you start just increasing these cloud layers from just one layer. And in the end, you just make a nice rotating cloud look. I think I added some extra motion to the center one too. But that was actually a lot easier to put together than I thought. But it's using the same principle, just that I didn't need a helper because the helper is helpful if you need as giving that secondary bone, but most static props type models come with a secondary bone where there's the root and then the prop itself. Though technically it's bad practice to animate much by the root, but I don't care. There's good reason for it, but I'm not going to get into it. Anyway, get rid of that camera. So there's a very large off-topic thing about that, but I think it's super, super good information. I actually had, I wonder if I still have it. Nope, that's something else. I swear I even had a tutorial that was basically done. No, that one I know was a tutorial. Was it this one? No, that was just going over camera principles. I know I started one that was about how to utilize that rotation bit, but I don't know why I never finished it. It's probably a save file. No. I know where it is. I recorded it, I just never edited it. I don't know. There's actually a lot of tutorials in here I never finished. Pivot point tutorial. Yeah. This is the whole thing. I was actually explaining how to modify pivot points, and that's mainly pivot point. Actually, I'm not a big fan of the pivot point change anymore. I'd rather do the helper, so I could probably redo that. But I recorded this back in 2000. Oh my god. Okay, that was a lot longer ago than I thought. All right. It's depressing.
Her Highness.
Case.
Oh yeah, Twilight doing a little dance.
Her Highness Princess Celestia announces plans for a counter-offensive.
All right, now I have to add the actual extra motion to her.
Princess Celestia announces plans for a announces plans for a counter. Celestia announces plans for a announces plans for a counter. Announces plans for a counter. Celestia announces plans for announces plans for announces plans for announces plans for a counter announces plans for
All right, and then I'm going to take Twilight's motion here, and I'm going to. I want her to start slowing down a little bit.
Announces plans for a counteroffensive against. Announces plans for a counteroffensive against the.
Okay, here we go. This is about the best way you can do a slowdown. You can play around with stagger, hold and release, but they speed up the beginning and slow down the end. So,
announces plans for a counteroffensive.
When she turns her head down there, her hair needs to follow suit.
Announces plans for announces plans for announces plans for a counter.
Okay. I think her eyes need to look down a bit more. Yeah, that's better.
For a counter plans for a counter from Celestia announces plans.
I don't like that the paper is in her way. So we're going to move. I need the bigger camera to see. We're going to move this paper. It's not going to match up exactly with the other shot, but the nice thing is from this angle, it just doesn't matter. Actually, you know what we can do? Drop it down a little bit, and down a bit more.
For a counteroffensive against.
Here. Now it's not so bad.
Counteroffensive against.
Okay. The one thing that is bugging me with the lighting here is they need backlighting. There's this giant freaking night bright behind them, and there is nothing to give them any type of extra lighting. So what is the best light to steal from? Let's grab this one. So this is difficult because if I want to have a nice rim on Spitfire, it's going to hit other ones too.
Plans for Her Highness Princess.
So I think I'm gonna use this as like a general kind of light, I think. I'm gonna call this splash because I want to actually have more of a rim, I think. This isn't shadowed, is it? No, it's not good. Alright. And so this one can be moved over here. I do want to hit the desk a little bit. I want to hit both of them, and I do not want to hit Celestia. Okay. That should work fine. No. This is going to be more for the rim, which I think I feel like would be higher. So this I actually want to be brighter. It's not going to throw out the lighting in these shots, is it? It will, but I can add some lighting to that. Like, I feel like it's still a little too bright. Like, you know what? I think we're going to call that good. Instead, we're going to... I don't need this so big now. So the main purpose of this is the eyes are being lit in a very similar amount of light that the rest of them are, and eyes in low light situations are probably going to actually reflect more light than the area around them. So I'm trying to represent that. So on Shining Armor here, his eyes shouldn't be the same color as his skin. They should be a bit whiter. But then here, it's a bit too bright. Actually, it is a little too bright. There. It's just about helping separate it. It's very minor. They're like night lights. Clap on. But now Luna is pretty bright in the eye there. But this eye is neglecting the light. And that is because it is just basically not hitting her. Why are you not getting the eye light? The angle? Kinda. Yeah, that's not too bad then. Okay.
Her Highness Princess Celestia announces plans for a counteroffensive.
Okay, should I do the standard ear go down cause sad?
Announces plans for a counteroffensive against
Now and always.
Her Highness Princess Celestia announces plans for a counteroffensive against Her Highness
Rules Equestria now and always.
How was your nap?
Unintentional.
Princess Celestia announces plans for a counteroffensive.
What'd you go upstairs for then?
I had to. I'm farting.
I was expecting the standard, I was going to go rest my eyes, which just means I was going to go nap. You get a little...
Is it better now?
Yeah.
Her Highness Princess
I'm waking
Celestia
up.
announces plans for a
Oh, I forgot to do the important eye stuff here.
I'm not wearing my glasses. I'm back.
We just leave them down here.
That would be a good idea.
What? Do you ever use them upstairs?
A little bit. Not a lot.
Celestia announces plans for a Celestia announces plans for a Celestia announces plans for a
There we go. Yes, he's dead now. We'll never see him again. We will mourn such a loss to humanity.
Celestia announces plans for a Celestia announces plans for a counteroffensive against Celestia announces plans for a counteroffensive against Princess Celestia announces plans for a counteroffensive.
Okay. Now we just need to do Cadence. Cadence is difficult because she does not have the same body structure as all the other ponies, just the same as like him. He's so happy. Look at him. He's just little dance, little dance.
Against the hive, source of the changeling. Against the hive, source of the changeling invasion that destroyed Canterlot. Would you like to know more?
So I'm going to copy paste the dance motion on here, but I have a feeling it's going to be not pretty. She needs to actually dance the whole time too. Oh no, this is later shot. I'll just copy paste her in part before.
Her Highness Princess Celestia announces plans for a counteroffensive.
I think there's something wrong with her.
Hey, Jurassic.
He's saying welcome back from when you came back the last time.
I couldn't read it the first time. I do live. Hey. Why are all of her feet broken?
Because a copy animation from a model that it was not this model.
Her shoes are falling off.
And it does not
It's like
its positioning. She also got a little.
Yes.
She's got a few problems.
She's a
But
changeling.
we'll work through it. She's a strong pony.
She's be shining too. It's like shining your wife is a changeling. It's like meh.
She
As long as
is
she cooks me dinner.
hot. I could actually steal a little bit from here is to figure out what needs to be at, and apparently this one needs to be down a lot more than I thought it did. But I think it's because the thigh is supposed to be bent differently.
I feel like it's just the changeling transforming, indicating that it hasn't had a lot of practice.
So the foot itself wasn't busted. It was the way that the rotation was set up.
Rules Equestria now.
Okay, how is this done? Actually, oh, it's supposed to be a bit higher? Okay, I guess I can kind of see that. Sure. There you go, Cadence. Like new. We're gonna lock those and take these thunder thighs and just rotate them backwards a little bit. And now, it's pretty close. Okay. There might be a problem though with the front hooves.
They're a little squished.
Rules Equestria now. And always.
Her Highness Princess.
Okay. I think besides that she's fine. There, now I fixed it.
She looks fine to me. I see nothing wrong here.
No, actually her neck stays down here. Really? Oh, I think I see. I think it's her chest is supposed to be down a little bit more, so I'll do that. The neck. So the main thing is just getting that head up there.
Your neck might be broken.
Changeling.
So I think that's a good height, but the neck needs to be brought a little bit lower.
Rules Equestria now.
Look at that jiggy jiggy.
Suspicious.
Always.
It's like a bird. It's on a stabilizer. Didn't they do that with like Fluttershy or something? With like they did like the bird video with Pegasus. Their heads all got the stabilizers. It was cute.
Not changeling. Rules Equestria now.
Oh, Cadence. You're an ugly horse.
Now and always.
It's even worse.
Her
Your eyes
Highness
just
Princess
completely
Celestia
white.
announces plans for a
Not a
counteroffensive
changeling.
against the-
Not a changeling at all.
Changeling mode activate. She's like, they know. They know.
know about her pizza addiction.
We know.
Just watch. Goodness. I don't know what it is about tonight, but I am. Yeah, I'm trying to go into a food coma.
I had 2 burgers.
Yeah, I know, but you clearly have more resilience than I.
I have something to do.
Fight off the food coma.
I have something to do. You're just sitting there.
I'm watching. That's something.
Watching is not something.
The other thing,
it's
nothing
sitting.
is me going like just passing out. That's nothing. This takes energy, man.
Highness Princess Celestia announces plans for a counter.
Gotta hold myself upright.
Okay. So Cadence has her little dancey dance.
She got
It
peanuts.
actually worked pretty good. We're going to grab our Cadence and we are going to play ahead. Oh.
Finally murdered by her own hair.
She's
got a beard.
She has the wisdom of ages. Apparently, her hair does not like being selected there. Oh, that is still gonna happen. Okay, hair back. There we go. Oh, nope. We're gonna try that again. So this bone has now collapsed. There we go. Fixed. Alright. Now let's try it. Here we go. She kind of looks like she's doing like a Fat Man waddle.
Her Highness Princess Celestia announces plans for a counteroffensive.
Almost look, I gotta pee. All I'm gonna see when you have all the ponies like stomping their hooves is the entire audience that's really gotta pee.
Oh, the gotta pee speed would be like this.
That's just really gotta pee. That's gonna like give me your glass. I need it. It's a creepy smile. Guppy.
Changeling. Rules equestrian now.
You're perfecting the gotta pee faces. It's large. It's a butt.
There. Now she's doing it.
And always.
Her Highness Princess Celestia.
She's got. There we go. See? She got pee.
Rules equestrian now and always.
Her Highness Princess.
She peed.
Oh no. She ruined the carpet again.
Love this is just like.
It's like, I'm a growing pony. It
Rules
happens.
equestrian now and always.
It's like, Cadence, you're 35.
Rules
You need to stop
equestrian now
this.
and always.
Her Highness Princess Celestia.
Zoinks!
Zoinks.
Okay, I need to actually like know what I'm undoing here. Where you go? So I think what's bothering me the most is that looks like she's kind of doing a little bit of a wobble. Okay, the chest 2 is not actually giving any of the motion. It is connected to probably chest 1 that is giving the motion. Okay.
And always.
Highness Princess Celestia announces plans for...
There is no motion in this direction.
Princess Celestia.
And this one. Okay. So that might be it.
And always.
A little bit. I'm gonna reduce it.
Her Highness Princess Celestia announces plans
Then is it chest 1's rotations?
for a counter-offensive.
Not really.
Her Highness Princess Celestia.
So what is giving you your side to side?
Her Highness Princess Celestia announces...
Because it only could be chest or pelvis, and the pelvis isn't doing it anymore, which means chest is. Hell, Skylight. But there's no motion on this bone. Unless chest 2 does have motion and is lying to me.
Her Highness Princess Celestia announces plans...
Well, what I can do is I'm going to select both of these shoulders and I'm going to lock them. And those I can confirm this is going to be the green motion. I can't remember what axis that is. The V or the Y. And we're going to smooth that. And is that enough?
Her Highness Princess Celestia announces plans for a counter...
Yeah, that should be enough. Now it's going to look really jagged when I undo it. Because it's countering the motion that the others had.
I'll tell you, Jurassic, I'm like 85% yawns right now.
Her Highness Princess Celestia announces
Spread
plans...
though.
Sure that
Y'all got the yawns. I spread it.
Her Highness Princess Celestia announces plans for a counter-offensive against... Her Highness Princess Celestia
Ate
announces
like
plans for a counter-offensive against...
2 burgers that each had like a quarter pound of beef in each one. Beef and that's just beef. There's like the bacon and the cheese in them. That's it. It doesn't even.
I'm fine.
Now the potatoes.
When did you eat lunch?
Like right after I got back, right around like 2:30 ish.
Well, there you go. I ate lunch at like 12:30, so you ate at 2:30, and then you ate again dinner 2 hours later.
I'm stuffed.
And you ate what'd you have for lunch? Chili and nachos
I had
and
Cincinnati chili, on top of ramen noodles, crushed up taco shells, and a slice of pepper jack cheese just thrown on top.
That sounds like you were at an Applebee's dumpster.
I mean, it was food. I ate it all. I'm not picky when I'm hungry.
That pony civilization, not changeling.
Dang, it's so up in Winklands.
Not changeling. Rules Equestria now and always.
Might be a little too wobbly. Though I will say, its motion actually is not too bad.
Now and always.
She's the last one you gotta get clapping. I just imagine, I'm just looking at Celestia's face right now. I'm just imagining her going, oh, super deep voice.
Princess Celestia announces plans for
Is Cadence the last one to make clap?
Yes.
She kind of already is.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying she's the last one to finish clapping. I see you guys shining armor over there, Bob.
Yeah, he's kind of bouncing. He's also doing his thing here.
Getting in your steps.
So technically he's looking forward here, so I need to make him look forward here too. I'll probably just do that quick.
for a counter-offensive against the Hive. For a counter-offensive against the Hive.
I don't need him to be exact, as long as it's close. See, you did.
Mm-hmm. It's contagious, man. You do the yawns. The one thing that can spread through the internet.
Yawn 19.
Yes.
It's a virus.
I can't guarantee that as soon as I'm watching this, I think I'm just like straightening up a bit and then immediately head back up, like, right back upstairs and fall asleep again.
You're just gonna go to bed after stream?
I'm gonna lie down and we'll see what happens.
You know who goes to bed at 9?
Old people.
My parents. Because you know why? Because they're tired.
Yeah, I mean it's hard being this awesome. It's exhausting. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm. Yep. How many hours did you work today?
Like a whole 5.5-ish.
Damn it!
5.
I worked part-time.
I got paid for a full day, so.
I know, but it seems like you're more tired now.
It does. I'm telling you, this is burgers.
What time did you go to bed?
1.
What time did you get up?
7.
Did you go to
10.
Did you go to bed at 1 or fall asleep at 1?
I fell asleep pretty quick.
Oh, okay. Did you wake up?
No. Well, I think a lot.
Because why?
Because my brain starts like throwing a fit after 6.
Oh,
Like,
not like constantly through the night.
Nah, I start waking up a lot towards when my brain knows it's almost time to get up.
If I read for about a half hour before bed, I'll sleep way better. Like all the way through.
I only sleep really well on the weekends because my brain knows that I don't have to be up. So
Normally,
I can sleep through.
In the last couple days, the alarm goes off and you just kept sleeping.
Oh, I hit snooze for 10 minutes.
You know, but like I'm thinking of like the convention where somebody's phone went off for their work alarm, and it was like an hour and a half, 2 hours before anybody else is gonna get up, and you just robotically immediately jumped out of bed and took a shower, and then realized, oh shit.
Because I was trying to be like considerate. My brain was, wow, I'm tired. I bet everyone else is tired. You know what? I'll take my shower first and let everybody else get a few more minutes of sleep. That was the considerate me. That was legit my mindset. It wasn't until after my shower did I realize it was like 3 in the morning. And everybody thought I was probably being a dick. And I hated it after I realized. I was just like, oh. I'm probably keeping everyone awake.
No, it's just funny.
The exact opposite of what I wanted to do.
See, that's why if you're a dick all the time, you can maintain consistency a lot easier.
This is true.
Just be an asshole.
Life would be so much easier.
And then if you're an asshole and you end up doing something nice, people are like, wow. Didn't expect that. But if you just do nice things all the time, then all they're going to do is expect it.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be like, oh, here's $10. And they can be like, well, how about 20?
I just need to balance my day out by just like every time I do something nice for somebody, I just need to be an asshole with somebody else. I should just walking down the street and I just smack a child. Be like, just to balance things out. I think that should go well for me.
I think that, yeah. Well, do they have consent?
Alright, look, I'm gonna smack old people now. So at least then it can be seen as charity.
Charity?
Yeah, because old people, they miss human contact.
But how is hitting them charity?
It reminds them they're alive. I don't know. Slapping old people is God's work.
And just say, but beforehand, you always have to come up with something new to say, like your grandchildren don't love you.
Gotta get those asshole points in, you know?
Yeah. It's just...
Yes, he played it, Jurassic.
Yeah, I got it the Friday it came out, and I think we beat the main story like Monday or Tuesday. I played it all weekend.
I watched him play the whole thing, and I thought the entire time as I was sitting there, man, he's bad at this game. But I still enjoyed watching him play.
I thought it was a fabulous game. I thought it was I expected it to be good, but to differ a lot and to not hit the buttons where they needed to hit. But it ended up hitting them where it needed to hit way out more often than I expected. Everything that was iconic was there almost shot for shot. Anything that needed to be re-envisioned was done in a good way. Anything that was iconic was put in there in sometimes fabulous fashion. It was really, really, really well done. The ending I thought was a little weird, but I've looked up a lot more information on it, and I see where they're potentially going with it. And if they do go that direction with it, it means more of the same, but in a very different way. And so I'm looking forward to it. But you can play through on hard, and I was going to potentially start doing that, but I guess it actually gets really hard because you can't use items. So I've kind of been like, meh.
If I had one criticism of Final Fantasy VII Remake, it's that without spoiling anything, there is a character they try to push into it too hard that really should barely even be in that game. And I'm guessing you know which character I'm talking about.
But from what a lot of the stuff I've seen, they have good reason on why they did a lot of it, because everything together on how they're going forward, it's providing the extra context.
I kind of feel like they only had that character in there because people wanted that character, but they kind of shoehorned him in. But a lot.
Trying to think of what the other things I wanted to say with it. No, they added a lot to the story. A lot of extra context, a lot of feeling the consequences of actions. They even there was a lot of shots that they went and recreated the exact image and pose and picture and everything, shot for shot from the original. Like Cloud looking up at the Midgard Tower and the avalanche wall, like all that was like picture perfect. And they even 100% recreated some of the cutscenes from Crisis Core, shot for shot, gun for gun, person for person. So that was it was really, really, really cool. So I have a feeling I know where the next game is going, and if it is going the way I'm thinking it's going to go, it will be a very interesting bit, because you're going to get half of the same and half very, very different in a really neat way. So I think I know where it's going, and it's gonna it would be really cool. But the second game is currently in early development. Like they just started working on it a couple months ago.
They're not going to finish this game till we're all old and dead.
The estimate is by the end of the decade they'll have the full things to finish.
Which decade?
20. Because they don't think that they anticipated it to be as successful and to have the review that it did, and so Square probably never gave them the funding to continue it until later. So they are in the early development phase.
I'm going to be dead before this game is done.
No, you won't.
I'm not going to live to 2020,
2030.
2030.
Only 10 years.
Yeah? Have you looked at me?
Tomorrow's unknown.
I'm sitting in this chair, and I'm thinking to myself, this is hard work. Sitting in this chair and not passing out. Jeez. Games. I mean, isn't it in 10 years the PlayStation 4 is probably going to be like 2 console generations back?
Yeah, but PC would probably also be a bigger thing, and they might come out with it at the same time.
I'm telling you. They did not. For the game that everybody's been screaming they've been wanting since I was a teenager, them wanting to re-release it. And then the guys come and say, oh, we didn't realize this was going to be popular. Makes me want to find the CEO of Square Enix and just backhand him. Get some of those asshole points in.
No, that's because you have something that you want.
It's something a lot of people want. That
They
people
want.
are screaming
There's a lot
for.
of sequels people want, and the only reason they really remade 7 was 3 reasons. 1, everybody wanted it, so it's a moneymaker.
Yeah.
2, the story of it is not new.
Yeah.
Like, the actual story from the game is years old.
Yeah.
There was
There's a lot of people who probably never played the original because it's so old.
No, the remake story
Yeah.
was written almost a decade ago.
Oh.
Like, there was other content that was written back then that actually has elements of things that were put into the remake that only could have been in there if the remake existed. And so they're pretty sure that the story of it was written, or the general premise of it was written a long time ago as an idea, and they're now working forward with it. Which is kind of interesting to think about.
I'm trying to think of even where the next game would end. Because where that game ends, which I don't think is too much of a spoiler saying where it ends, I think that's pretty common knowledge at this point, but I'll leave it out.
It's Midgar. It ends at Midgar.
Okay, it ends when you leave Midgar. And, but I can't think of another moment other than the big Ares dies moment.
Spoilers.
That one's old enough to where people can just...
You don't know that one.
That one, you're just... you here. You anywhere. You should stop existing.
I think that the second game is probably going to end... I don't. Well, it depends. Is it a trilogy?
If they stopped at Midgar, that's like the first... Is that even the first 10% of the game?
Midgar's huge. You're in Midgar for like 20 hours. If you want to hit everything up.
Yeah. I don't know. I always remember Midgar being like 10 hours. Of like a 60-hour game, but I'd say it's like it's not a third of the game. It's
but
certainly not a third of the game.
I'm pretty sure the second game though is going to follow the main narrative, but it's going to have a secondary narrative, and that you're going to be following.
No.
So, and if that's the case, then they probably will end it at Aerith, where I'm guessing that they're going to merge the two things together, and then to make a single narrative for the third game. That's my guess.
Yeah, if you remember right, Aerith dying was the end of the first disc.
Spoiler.
I'm spoiling that one. And Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's father. So I know. Take that with you.
No. Who's Luke Skywalker?
I don't know. Some actor who works at Denny's, I think.
Poor Mark Hamill. He's just talking like Joker. He's like, "What did you like to take into order?"
It's like, Mark Hamill, is that you? Work's been difficult.
Plans for a counter-offensive.
Well, I'm gonna disappear.
You're like, it's 9 o'clock. I'm going to bed.
No,
But no, if you have a PlayStation, I would highly recommend it. I felt it was shorter than I expected it to be, but it had more quality jammed into that amount of time that I've ever seen in a video game. Like, legitimately. The amount of detailed lip syncing, the character animation is stupendous. It's some of the best I've seen. They barely do any actual like pre-rendered cutscenes, and they don't need to because the engine itself can just make amazing. It feels like you are playing and watching a movie continuously, and it's not just the story. The combat is actually a great merger between the old original system and the more common active system. It took me a little bit to understand it, but once I got it figured out, it is a beautiful blend. The only things that bothered me was the end, but I'm not going to criticize that until I know how it continues. But it was for something that was looking to be just people want it and we can make money on it. It was more than that. They executed it perfectly. So, no, it is definitely worth going to get if you're able to. I couldn't help myself. I had to pick it up, and I still want to go back and play it some like on hard mode or something, just because you can see some of the things on the side, and there's some choices you can make that affect future choices. Especially Wall Market has tons of choices that can affect things.
Announces plans for a counter. 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 Announces plans for a counter offense. Celestia.
I'll give her some kind of move, but I want to have her do the same thing as Twilight does. I don't want that like copy paste of everything. So this time I'm having her look at her husband. Like, what the fuck you doing? Kind of, not really that bad, but.
Highness Princess Celestia. Celestia. Announced plan. Princess Celestia announces plans for a counter-offensive. Her Highness Princess Celestia announces plans for a counter.
Yeah, actually, friend got mine for me, and I almost didn't want to buy it just because I'm like, well, getting it on PC or on console, or maybe I could wait till it comes out on PC. That's the game I'll probably, but I can almost guarantee I'll buy again on PC. I almost feel like normally I go on the premise that if I spend $60 on a game, then I want 60 hours of content at least. But I always then say if it's a high quality game, then you know it's fine if it's less. I feel like that one was a steal for what it was. I mean, there's other games that I spent 60 on and gotten 120 and felt like that wasn't even worth my money. So, but yeah, it's worth it. It's worth it. It's actually gotten me into more of like trying to figure out a lot of that story. There's a if you really are interested in Final Fantasy lore and are curious of more of the story behind a lot of the games, there is a channel I would recommend. Called Final Fantasy Union. They're the way that they articulate and the research they go into and a lot of the backstory. Like one of the cool things is they'll actually go into Final Fantasy character origins. So they'll pick a character and then they'll talk about every aspect of that character from the original game, any spin-offs, any side writings, any talks from the devs, and then put it in chronological order. And sometimes a lot of the characters' stories make way more sense when you listen to it chronologically. So it actually got me to go back and rewatch all the cutscenes for Final Fantasy X, and now that I have all that information and everything, a lot of the subtleties and everything made more sense, and it just helps the story feel more fulfilling. Now I have a full understanding of Cloud's story because I only really knew 7. Now I went and rewatched all of Crisis Core and all their cutscenes, which actually was really, really good cutscenes for that too, and got the full story of Zack. And a lot of other side stuff, so now I have a much better understanding of that. And there's just so many of these are just great stories that they're it's just fascinating. So like the origins are great. They go into the history of all the games, deep dives into like the Dragoon or something. It's really, really good. If you ever want some more information from them, I don't normally subscribe to people, even if I find some good stuff on them, but this is one I had to because it's just everything they put out is really good. Anyway, I've been going on walks where I'll like play one of their videos and I'll just like go for a walk for like 20 minutes and they'll just listen to them talk. They have video stuff in the background, but you don't need it. It's just it's like an audio history and the way they slight accent and just the way you text great. Anyways, for today, I like reviewing what I got done, so whether or not it was productive. Nobody weren't really that productive today, but did make progress. Got Twilight done, and I think I'm just gonna call Cadence done here.
Yeah,
I think I might just call that good. And if I do call that good, what does Celestia do here? Should you stand still? She does. So I probably have to add a little bit of motion to her here. And then I would basically call this shot done. And then I just have to copy paste their animation at the ends of these shots into this one. I don't actually need to make them move much here. Maybe some little subtle, like, I don't know, if they're just doing their little dance, I don't need to worry about it either. Mainly because, in this shot, from here on, for this last half, they're talking, Would you like to know more? Which then has an overlay, so only like 4 seconds is actually visible. I thought you went to bed.
Oh, I used the restroom.
Chair's gone.
Yes. I didn't expect you to still be streaming.
No, I'm just finishing up. Oh yeah, here actually I'll give you a. Did I close it? Yeah, I did. I can give you a copy of the link to their channel. Let me copy it to where I'm not breaking it. Does that work? So make sure I'm making it work. There you go. No, I found it at random, and it's just really, really good, and deep dives are great. So highly recommend. Yeah. That'll be it. So yeah, I'll do those little things, copy paste that animation over, and then it's about taking a crap with ponies in the audience here. That's gonna be fun. Nah, it'll actually be pretty easy. This is the part I want to do because it's different from the things I've been doing, because it's about filling an audience with a method that I'm 99% or 95% sure will work. So it's different, and so it makes me curious as to whether or not it'll work, and excited. So, yeah. Anyways, that will be that. Thank you for the clip of Michael being weird, Blurt. That's good. We can forever remember it. Of him being a creepy old man. Oh, and if for those that aren't on Twitter, I ended up actually hitting 200,000 on the YouTube. So, boom. So, thank you everybody for that. That is awesome. Especially for a channel that only posts like a video every like 9 months. That's pretty cool. So I do want to post more on there, but probably the next video that's going to be posted on here is probably going to be another Rathalos one, because I think 2 more shorts and I'll have enough for another compilation. But that's fine, because those are actually, they make good money. So, but yeah, thank you for the support and everything. And one day I'll post another video. That's fine. We're having fun. That's all that matters. So yeah, have a good weekend. Have a kitty. And away. Good. Have a good one. Bye bye.